everyone, and welcome back to another knitting themed video. In this video I thought it'd be fun to go through my current whips that I have on my needles and my wanna-dos, so the knits that I would like to get to this year in 2025. I know there's probably going to be more than this, so I'll probably knit more than these things that I want to do, but I just said these are my current ones that I am most eager about, at least. So the very first whip that I have on my needles here, and this is a bit awkward because it's at an awkward phase. I'll stand up and show you. This is her. I started it a few weeks ago and I am now onto the ribbing. This is the Iris cardigan, or Iris pullover by Tin Anile. I'll have all the details popped up on screen at some point for all of these designers and everything, but this is the Iris pullover. So it has a steeked neckline, which was my very first time steeking. It was very scary. These are the steeked stitches here, and it also has steeked armholes too. So it was a very fun, it also has this lovely detail on the shoulder. Now this isn't blocked or anything, so that's why everything's a bit wobbly, but this is the shoulder detail that you do when you cast it on. So this is it. It was definitely a project. I knit this in the size 5. There's 6 sizes altogether and I knit it in the size 5 because 1, I have body dysmorphia and I have no idea what size I actually am, and 2, I also, again, body dysmorphia, so I prefer everything to be kind of bigger and oversized on me anyways. So I have the entire body almost done. I am just currently working, sorry that's the wrong side, I guess you can see my floats if you're interested. What's interesting about this pattern is that it actually tells you where to catch your floats, which that was the first time I ever saw that in a pattern. I think that's actually pretty handy, but I normally catch them a lot more frequently than she had suggested. But you can see down here I'm just working on the ribbing section of it, so I have like 5 more centimeters to go on the ribbing and then the body will be done and I can move on to the sleeves. So I'm very excited for that because this was, because I knitted in such a larger size, it was a lot of work. So, but I'm very pleased with this. I think it's a gorgeous knit so far. I am knitting it in the call for yarn, which is the Hulst yarn. And let me see if you can see, I can block out Hulst yarn. And I just knitted in the call for colours as well, that is in the pattern, because I just thought they were so beautiful that I said, okay, I trust that. And I love the smell. You can smell the lanolin in the wool. I know this is going to be itchy and I know it's something I'm going to have to definitely wear something underneath when I wear it, but I personally really like this jumper, and this is my quote unquote project bag. It's a bag that I made when I was in university as like a side project to stop me from going insane with like scraps that I had. So that's where I keep all my wool and needles. This is my magic sack full of my kind of slightly paused projects or to-do projects. This is the book club cardigan by Sari Nordland. As if you've watched my previous video, you know that I am a fan of Sari Nordland. So this is where I am at with it as well. I'm almost on the body on this one too. This is where I've placed yarn on hold for the pockets. I'm really excited to do a cardigan with pockets. So it's a nice cabled design. Let me see, stand up so you can get a good view of the actual cables. And then I'll show you the back also. So it's not like incredibly complicated, but it's a really fun one to work on and it feels lovely. So I am knitting this in, I'm holding Drops Kid Silk Mohair in the colour Chocolate together with Wild Atlantic Yarns in the Una 4 ply, and this is in the colourway the Falling Leaves of Autumn. So I think these two together make a lovely kind of warm, cozy brown colour. The reason why that one isn't finished, normally I'm a pretty monogamous. The thing is that I mainly only have one project on my needles at a time. Max 2 if the one is a like jumper or cardigan and the other one is a sock or something. That's normally all I have. I am a fan of like working on multiple projects at a time because I feel like I get distracted with one and never finish the other. So the reason why I have that one half finished is that I actually ran out of the Kids Silk mohair from Drops, and I just couldn't afford to buy any new any like balls of it for a couple of months because it was Christmas time and all my money went elsewhere. So I finally got around to buying a couple of balls of that. So after I'm finished the iris pullover, I will probably finish the book club cardigan, or I really want to do the next project, which is the Fortuna's Wheel pullover, and that's by Elspeth Vance. And honestly, everything in that Pom Pom magazine, at first I was like, oh, I wish I could just buy the pattern for just the pullover on Ravelry, and then I bought the magazine and I was like, oh no, I love everything in this magazine. All of the knits in that magazine were so gorgeous. And now I'm tempted to knit everything under the sun in that magazine. I want to knit the Fortuna's Wheel pullover, and I have bought the wool for that. While I was buying the Drops Kid Silk and I had money to spare, I was like, I'm going to buy the wool for the Fortuna's Wheel pullover because I think it is such a cool jumper. And this is in Drops Nepal, so pretty standard, cheap and cheerful, and I'm just doing it in black and white. If I knit the Fortuna's Wheel pullover and I love it and I get a lot of wear out of it, I am so tempted to knit it again in like a nice bubblegum pink and then a mossy warm green colour. Pink and green are like the colours I use an awful lot in my artwork. Pink and green I just love working with and using in aesthetic things. I would be tempted to do that, but first we're going to knit the first one in black and white, and then I'd also be really tempted to try knitting the trousers that go along with it. Knitting trousers, I don't know, I have fairly big legs, so it seems like a massive undertaking to knit some trousers. It seems like it would be a fairly hefty job. So we'll knit the jumper first and then we'll see about the trousers. The last thing that I have the wool for, but haven't like properly started knitting yet. This I have pulled off the needles because I got bored, but looking at it again now, I think it actually is quite pretty, and maybe I shouldn't have just done that. Anyways, this is the Diamond Aran sweater by Hello Higgle Life. I think they're a Korean designer and they released the pattern in English, and I wanted to knit this for my husband. So I think what I had started on this was the back shaping. So what I like about this as well is that the front is all Aran and like, you know, cabled, and then the back is just like plain moss stitch. So yeah, I think you rarely see the backs of jumpers or kind of care about the back of them. So I think that's nice that you only have kind of the detail of the Aran and the cables on the front of it, and that'll make it easier, especially when it's a gift knit, because honestly I am a selfish knitter. I rarely knit things for other people, and I'm kind of only excited to have finished items for myself. So considering that this will not be for me and it will be for my husband unless he doesn't like it, and then I'll wear it. This I'm knitting kind of slowly. It'll be sort of a project when I'm in between projects and kind of bored and waiting for more wool to come in or something like that. And this is in Hayfield Aran tweed in the colourway Evergreen as well. And I think I've had that wool sitting there for years, and I'm like, okay, I should use it, because I actually don't like having a yarn stash at all. I'm very much someone who, unless I am actively working on a project, I tend not to just buy wool. The only exception for that is with sock yarn. I like having a little collection of sock yarn that I can kind of pick and choose from, because I think socks knit up so quickly and they're the kind of thing that I'm just get in the mood for every now and again. So I don't like to have to wait and like order hand dyed wool and then wait a few weeks for it to come in. So for that reason I prefer to have a little bit of a stash of sock yarn, but other than that, all of my yarn. And this is 90% sock yarn. This is like my entire yarn stash is in this bag. The next ones are ones that I want to buy and either have no plans for what wool I want to use, or I have some plans but don't actually have the yarn bought yet. The next one that I want to talk about is the Fall In cardigan by Mimieux. I don't know if I said their name correctly, but it will be up on the screen. And I want to knit this in the Roman Fine Tweed Haze in either the black or the dark brown. I just think it would be a really nice, comfy, easy cardigan to throw over like cute skater dresses or something like that. I think after my current ones that I have wool for, I'm definitely going to be buying wool for the fall in cardigan, because it just seems like a nice, comfy, slouchy cardigan that doesn't have any much fancy details or anything like that on it that I feel like I could wear. The next two are from the same designer, and that is by Starcross Knits, and those are the tarot card sweater and the unicorn tapestry cardigan. Both of these I just think, oh, they're so my style. I love tarot cards. I also love that was it the unicorn defends itself or something like that, and also the last unicorn. I just think unicorns as motifs are very cool, and I think I would knit. I love the moon would be my preferred tarot card, but I like the star. I think the star just looks more aesthetic. I have no idea what I would knit either of these in, but I know for a fact that I would love to knit them, and I know I would get a lot of use out of them as well. I just think it's almost like a graphic tee but a jumper, the tarot card one. And then the unicorn tapestry, I've been like avidly following them just to like, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I really want to knit that so badly. It's so gorgeous. So I'm very, very excited to get around to that eventually. The next ones are ones that, again, this is from my pile of sock yarns. So this is my intention for these ones. These are the Starry Night Socks by Carolina Adamczyk. Again, I don't know if I've said their name right, so the details will again be up on screen. And I would like to knit these in the Midnight Light colour by Fine Leaf Fibres. I think that's just, it's such a gorgeous, like it has these lovely, I don't know, can you tell? Like maybe there a little bit. It's like a deep dark blue, but with like hints of purple in it. And then for the contrasting white, this is a ball of Pine by Hedgehog Fibres that I've used in like 1,000,001 projects. It's like my go-to white that I'll keep using it until it's gone basically. And I think I should have enough for the contrasting. If I don't have enough for the contrasting, I can always do, you know, a different white or have them slightly mismatched. The next ones are the Secret Garden socks by Anna Hewitt, and I love these ones, but I'm struggling to decide what sock yarn I want to use for it. Like I have a big kind of bag of sock yarn that has been wound and used in other projects, but I'm trying to like decide what from this. Like I think I would probably use some greens or earthy tones, maybe some of this yellow as well, but I'm not quite sure what. The Secret Garden socks I just think are so cool and they're so beautiful. I love just naturey themed things in general, so I'm very drawn in when the socks like that appear. These next ones are also another one that I have no idea what I want to knit them in, but probably pull from that stash of sock yarns that I have, and that is the Be Creative socks by Ducati, I think is their name. And again, these are just another pair of gorgeous colourwork socks. I love doing like cables and stuff for my knitting, but then I really love doing colourwork for my socks. And again, another one that I will definitely pull from. I have these yarns and I think this would be really nice for it. This is, I don't have the colourway, but this is a lovely tweedy sock yarn, and this is by Donegal Yarn. And then this is by Vera Yarn Design, and this is in the colourway Soap Bubble. And I think these would be really nice for these Death Moth socks by Briallen Fair, I think is their name. So I really think they'd be a super cute, or I'm just saying these together now as well. Oh, they'd be cute in that as well. But I've had this sock yarn sitting around for ages and I'm like, I really need to use it. I have it in my mind that I need to use it for a pair of socks, but looking at it, I'm like, I could use these in clothes as well. So maybe some sort of colourwork thing in the future. Finally, we have the Sky socks. I really wanted to knit something that had a very Celtic-y design to it because I love Celtic knotwork. I think it's just really gorgeous, and obviously I'm Irish, so it's valid for me to like that. But funny enough, these aren't based off Ireland, they're based off Scotland. These are the Sky socks by Mary Ho, I think is their second name, and I think they're just really gorgeous. I love the colours that they're knit in the sample colour picture in Ravelry, but again, I'll probably just pull from my yarn stash and see what I have there that would work for it. I think this is another one by Vera Yarn Designs, and it is in the colour just purple, but it's on the neon tweedy base. And maybe like this along with something that would like contrast quite highly with it again. Maybe something like high contrast like this, or even again this. But that is my plans for my sock yarns. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have for my knitting plans so far. I really want to put a big disclaimer so far, because God knows I'm going to knit way more than that, I'd say, this year. And I'm going on a trip. By the time you see this, I'll be almost done the trip, I think. But I'm going on a trip soon, and I don't want to take any of my big jumper projects with me, so I'm tempted to take one of those get one of those sock patterns and just have a cute little sock project to work on just when I'm traveling and during downtime as well, because it's the ski holiday, so you know there's all the skiing and the inevitable consumption of alcohol and then during like the quieter evenings when I'm probably wrecked and hungover, I might just curl up in my room and knit. So I'm tempted to take a couple of those last few sock patterns that I showed you and maybe knit them. So the next time I talk to you, I'll give you an update on where I am with all my whips and any of my new starts that I have. But I think that is it for now. And my next kind of crafty video, I was thinking we could either go through my cross stitches, my current whips, and all of my current finishes that I have done in cross stitch, because I did cross stitch a lot when I was a child. I don't have any of those ones, but I got back into it in like 2023 because I got bronchitis and I was so like woozy and ill that I couldn't focus enough on knitting. So I got back into cross stitch because it was like a nice kind of like brain off activity. It's like pixel art but for crafts. I really enjoyed it. The other idea I have is my sewed wardrobe, so everything I have sewed that I have in my wardrobe, I could show you all them with a try on of what still fits me, because I've gained a little bit of weight this year, so some things don't fit me that I've sewed. But I could do a try on and show you all the things that I have sewed, and then also talk about my future plans. So let me know which you would prefer. Would you prefer to see like a cross stitch / embroidery video, or would you prefer to see a sewing video? Or quilts. I could also show you all my quilts that I've made as well. I do a lot of crafts, in case you haven't noticed. I do quite a lot of crafts. It's kind of my whole thing. Like here you can see there's 2 crocheted blankets here and here. I could also show you all my crochet stuff. I don't crochet garments really because I prefer how garments fit with knitting, but I have crocheted quite a lot of blankets and throws and stuff, so I could also show you them. So yes. Let me know what you would like to see, and let me know your knitting plans for 2025. I was going to say the first half of 2025. I'm not going to get all these knit in the first half of 2025, but yes, let me know what your knitting plans are if you're a knitter, or let me know what your craft plans are in general. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!